Hello Tech Genius, I am Ravi. Have you ever imagined a place where learning is as dynamic as the technology shaping your world? Then here's a deal. With iMatix, you can make sure the learning is exciting, impactful right from the beginning. You have interactive sessions with expert-led courses. In the world of tech, from data science to cloud computing, it's not just about a session, it's about doing, building, learning by solving real problems. So let's get started. Maybe we'll take a job scheduler first. We will try to look at it. I think by the name itself, we can understand that it is like scheduling a job. We can schedule it for some time and the system does that for you. I think we will go ahead. We will do this. Let us take this activity itself. Before directly creating your job schedulers or queue processors, the base is going to be your activity. You put in your logic here for sending out emails or for generating documents or generating Excel sheets. Everything is put in the activity. The logic goes in. Now I think we will create. Job schedulers are part of your sysadmin category. Yes, but I still have agents. Both your standard advanced agents are still available, but slowly the environment is shifting towards these two new rule forms, schedulers and queue processors. And you see there isn't any specific class for the job scheduler. It's not bound by any class here. Let us create my job scheduler. Let's just check if everything is fine here. Are there any open rule sets? Seems good. RS0203. We will create. What comes in a scheduler? The first thing is, would you like to enable this job scheduler? Yes, I would like to enable it. Now, on which node would you like to run it? Ideally, it is set to background process. But if you look at this, once I click on this gear icon, I can see a lot of other aspects also. There are different nodes available. One is for business intelligence reports. We call it BX. One is specific for batch and there are a few custom nodes available. You can configure your own node as well. But ideally, when it comes to job schedulers, most used option is background process. And in fact, if you want, you can have it on two different nodes also. You can do it. But if it's just one specific action that you wanted to do, ideally we can go for one node at a time. How would you like to run your job scheduler? Is it like you would want it to be run on all the nodes? I mean, when your volume is very high, you would like to divide this or you would like to distribute the node. Maybe I think that's the term. You would like to distribute the load onto multiple nodes. Then you can give it to all associated nodes. Where do you want the scheduler to run on? Is it just on one node that's associated currently? This is background processing. Or would you like to just have it on all the nodes? That's up to the volume, the kind of data you are processing, or the kind of work that you're doing on the activity. I think I will put it to all associated nodes for now. In background processing node type, whatever nodes are available on all of those nodes, we will distribute the work. And if we select any one associated node, then in background processing only one node, the processing will take place. Correct. All associated nodes, when we select, you said that we will distribute the processing. Correct. If you look at this, for example, I mean, node management is an entirely different aspect. When you look at the admin studio, there's a separate tab for node classification and node management. The system administrators would generally look after it. Even if you see here if you see in a multi-node cluster, job scheduler runs on multiple nodes. Depending upon the volume, the kind of data or the kind of activity you are doing, you can have a multi-node as well, where I can associate this with multiple nodes. Now, yes, I've decided where it has to run. Now, what is the schedule? When I say job scheduler, you are scheduling something. What are you scheduling, or when are you scheduling it? When should your job scheduler run? Is it when if I use startup, is it when your system starts, which means only probably once a week or maybe once every couple of days, whenever your server is starting? Or would you like to have it multiple times a day? If yes, is it for hours, minutes, or seconds? For every 2 hours, I would like my scheduler to run. This is the frequency with which you are scheduling your jobs. It's daily. Is it for every 2 days, or would you like to schedule it every week? And if yes, what is the time? You can select the time zone. You can select the time zone, and accordingly you can have the scheduler running, or it could be weekly. Again, every 1 week, You can set the dates on what days, maybe every Monday and every Thursday. I would like the scheduler to run. Or it could be monthly. First day. I mean, generally, we would get our salaries on the last day. Maybe 31st of every 1 month. But in case if 31st is a holiday, it's a weekend, then we might receive the salary on 30th itself. Correct. In that case, probably the last weekday of every 1 month. I think we might have observed this when your 31st is a weekend or a holiday. The salary the day before. That's because of this kind of schedule. It's processed on the last day of your month. And we see the salary process, and all happens in the night because by morning 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock you will receive a message saying your account is credited with, and yes, because this process happens in the night during your off peak hours. Yes, then it could be an yearly. On your financial year ending, probably every 31st of March, you would like to have your report. Or again, the last day, maybe the last weekday of every March. This occurs every year. Likewise, depending upon the frequency, you can choose the schedule and you can also set a start time for it. I think for us to observe now, I will go with this multiple times a day. After every 2 minutes. I want this to be, the scheduler to execute. The scheduling part is done. But what is the action that you want it to take? My action is there on the activity. For that, where is my activity in workers recruitment? Let me select the context. Yes, this context is who is going to run this scheduler. Is there any access that you are providing to it? For example, use system runtime. Context is where, depending upon the runtime, the system will take the access group and it will proceed with the schedule. But otherwise, if you want only people with the specific access group to work on this, then you can mention the access that the context is considered. I mean, maybe if only an admin logs in and he enables the scheduler, you run the transaction. Otherwise, you don't do it. And it uses the system runtime context. The system would take this input and runtime and it will, irrespective of any access group, it would just execute this scheduler. Then here is where you define the class. What is the scope of your activity? Where is the activity? What is the activity? I have Act 1 and Act 2. Let us use my Act. And what is the configuration of your alert? If my job scheduler has been running for more than this period of time, then I would like to send in an alert. This is still being run. This alert You know this is generated when the execution time is more than this threshold. That's when we would define it based upon the complexity of the activity again. If you have a lot of DB hits and a lot of DB updates that happen, definitely your threshold should be high. Before that, let me just say that where will we receive these alerts? In the log. Yes, in the alert log. We have a PEGA log. Similarly, the alert log also. Here, if you observe, what does it say is my job scheduler is naved against the context specified in the system runtime context. When I say system runtime context, when I try to open this, it says these are the applications that are available. And if you look at the version, what is it that we are using? We are using HRS. The current version, that's the rule set where your job scheduler is in, is 02, 01, 02. But here, when you look at the system related ones, it says HRS, there's 01, 03, 01. Has to be 02, 101. Maybe if required, I could change it here to 02. I can save it here. And you see here, what does it say? If there are any queue processors or job schedulers from this version, also 01, they will no longer be available. Let's check the version once. Saves good. This is taking the application version alone. But this user, if you observe, the application says 01, 03, 01, but this user does not have access to this. The current version that where your job scheduler is created is in 02, 01, 01, where this is the operator rule set, is more than the application rule set here. If you observe, let us do one thing, change the context. I'll let this be based upon the access group. Which applications is pointing to? 011. I think I'll just change this to 01, 01, 01. This should be good. This is fine. I mean, you understood what happened here. This HRS latest version is picked and this user does not have access to it. That's why earlier when I gave it showed me an error. But now the access group was 01, 01, 01. I think I need to speak. I'm going to see. We've noticed the access group on checklists. Access. Let us just run this once. Ideally, it should have been done once I save it. The advantages: I don't need to configure this anywhere else. I don't need to invoke this anywhere else. But once this is enabled, it should be executed. In order to look at execution status, go to the Admin Studio. Let's look at the jobs. These are the existing jobs that are running. I think let's filter out. There's this problem with the version here because the application version is 010101, whereas the operator's version is 020101. We should have created this somewhere in O1. Let's do one thing. And that's the reason I checked the rule version earlier when we created this. But my activity is in O2. Let us do one thing and put this back in O1, O1, O1. You are understanding what is happening here. That's why it's always a good practice. We should not juggle here and there with respect to the rule sets, because the application rule set is what we are using here is O2, O1. Whereas for the, this is for the operator, whereas on the application we have O3, O1. I believe this shouldn't be the scenario. We shouldn't do it. I think this is too silly. I think I will just put it to O1. Now that O2 related ones will not be picked. But I think I have a lot of rules in O2, O1 also. Let's put it back because there are around 50 to 55 rules, I think. Almost 65 rules are there. No, I cannot take chances. It's not letting me see O1, O1, O1. Now I should definitely go with this. Let's see. Now this system will pick only from these O1, O1 itself, not from other rule sets. Now if you observe this, they're specified in the system runtime context. If you look at this, the HR says O1, O1, O1. I mean, you understood what just happened. Earlier it was not taken because the jobs were given on O2. It was on O2, O1, O1. Exactly. I mean, that's the reason why I initially checked, but job scheduler is saved. Now I have it enabled. After 2 minutes, let's see what happens. I'll go to my admin studio. Earlier there used to be a tab here on the developer toolbar. There's an SM. Earlier it used to be there. Now we have this admin studio to look after the background process. It's at the top. When is the class done? This is 2.16. This is your Gmenti time ranking, and when is it next? For the next 2 minutes, after 2 minutes. It says already it has 4 executions and the success rate is 100. Status enabled. You can also track this using your tracer because again at end of the day it's all in your activity. And where do you want to trace it? Are you looking at any specific node or any node is fine? I think we can just trace it on any node for now. The system will wait until the next run. Probably that happens at 10.22. It will wait until then, and once the execution starts, you will get the tracer. I think in the meanwhile, while this traces, what we'll do is this is still running. This is tracing. Let's see what happened. Tracer session. What does it say? Initially, the first thing what happened is activity has begun. What is the method that we have on the activity? Log message. The execution status is successful. The steps end there. The second step is again, I think we used one more log message. Step started and it has ended. The status is good and then the activity ended. This seems a very simple activity. We got to trace them directly here. If maybe you had some DB interactions or OBJ open, all those would be listed out on my tracer here. And when would the next trace be? After 2 minutes. Now the executions, if I look at, they have to be 5. Here it is. It happened at 23, and what is the average duration? You get to see it's like 2 seconds. The success is currently 100%. And if you have to override anything, when it says it is overridden, this is your toggle button just to enable and disable your scheduler. We have that green button icon there on the Dev Studio. Here it is just an override button. Currently your scheduler is disabled. Until I enable it, it will be a disabled option. Let me change it. Now as it is disabled, let us look when is the next run. Next run in 27. Then the number of executions is 6. I mean, are we clear far with the job scheduler? The main logic lies inside your activity. The similar way you will have your queue processor also. I mean, the base is going to be an activity only, but we have a couple of other configurations that we can do on the job scheduler. We have a main part is the activity and we give time for that. After every 2 minutes the job scheduler runs, the activity also runs with it. Exactly. If you are invoking the activity using your scheduler, you are just scheduling the activity there. Using your job scheduler, that's just the whole point of your scheduler. It just schedules. It starts the event depending upon you define it here. The main process will be done by the activity only. At what point the activity should run. The batch, processing or generation of documents will be there on your activity. When should that happen is defined on the schedule. You do it for every 1 month. Is it a salary cycle or you do it for every 1 year? As for your financial year end closure, whatever it might be, you are scheduling that using the job schedule. The main logic, the business conditions, the business scenario would lay on your activity. If the scheduler is run, your activity is run. I mean, talking about this job scheduler, it is known to replace your advanced agents. On the advanced agents, you get to mention the time and all that. This is a second. I still have my agents. This, if you look at this agent schedule, here also you observe on what nodes am I running it. Is it on all the nodes or just the background processing? These are a replacement for agents. Yes, your agents are also more like without a manual intervention. How can I automate the process? Or if I have to run the same logic for any number of times, I can use this for running the same logic for a periodic basis. I can run my agents. Now, if you observe the agent, there's this agent which is. The pattern is a periodic basis and it is run for every 360 seconds, which is like 60 minutes for every 1 hour. This is being run. This agent, and inside the agent also, again the core lies inside the activity only. Agents are just for scheduling, just like your job schedulers. But what happens is through your activity. Look at any agent when you open. Nowadays we do not use agents, we just use job schedulers. Correct? Correct. I mean, starting from 8 PEGA infinity, we have got these schedulers and processors. We are at all agents. It's still not wrong to use agents, but we have got better options here and better handlings available. I think slowly the systems are shifting towards the new rule forms. The legacy systems are still they are still working on agents only, but few projects are slowly moving towards the schedulers and queue process. Yes, when you look at this, suppose I open an agent, where you see there's a scheduling of agents. Yes, here is your activity. This activity is executed for every 600 seconds, like for every 10 minutes. This is being executed. Look at the activity. It has got its own implementation. This is an installation. And what is this related to? This is an important activity that is being run after you install or upgrade something. I will see if it is an important activity. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.